from Tampa Bay's #1 news station. This is the Fox 13 News at Noon.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Linda Hurtado. Thanks so much for joining us. We begin with a news alert in Afghanistan's capital city. Desperation as people try and flee Taliban rule. This video shows dozens of people sprinting towards Kabul's international airport while the sound of gunshots can be heard in the background. In another clip, you can see people surrounding a U.S. Air Force transport plane as it taxied for takeoff, some even grabbing the plane's landing gear. 7 people are reportedly dead amid the chaos in the airport. The U.S. has temporarily suspended evacuation flights to try and clear that crowded runway. This comes as the Pentagon orders another 1,000 troops to Afghanistan. Fox's Caroline Shively reports from Washington. President Biden is expected to address the situation in Afghanistan from the White House this afternoon. He's set to speak at 3:45. We will bring it to you live right here on Fox 13. Developing now in Manatee County, members of the school board are holding an emergency meeting concerning COVID-19 cases in their district and a possible mask mandate. Fox 13's Kimberly Quizon joins us now live. So, Kim, do we have a decision yet?
Well, Linda, not right now. We're still waiting on a vote, but earlier this morning they put forward a motion for a mask mandate with an opt-out for both students and staff of the Manatee County School District. Linda, back to you.
All right. I know you'll keep us updated on that. Kim, thank you. Well, the University of Florida will open its upcoming semester with in-person classes, reversing itself just hours after telling students this semester might begin online. School administrators initially set out an email telling students after consulting with epidemiologists, plans were being made to put the first 3 weeks of school online. But then a few hours later, a second email went out saying all classes would be conducted in person. Children were once considered relatively safe from COVID-19, but now they're being hospitalized with severe cases in ever-increasing numbers. According to St. Jude Children's Research Hospital, pediatric patients now represent 3.5% of all hospitalizations in the United States, more than twice the figure from earlier in the pandemic. Researchers say locality is a major factor.
Where we have higher rates of infection among children is where we have lower rates of vaccination in general.
In the past week, COVID hospitalizations for all ages increased nearly 37%. A Manatee County commissioner has been hospitalized for COVID-19 despite being vaccinated. The county released a statement from Commissioner Kevin Van Ostenbridge saying he is currently undergoing treatment at Blake Hospital in Bradenton. He says he's in stable condition and receiving wonderful care. Van Ostenbridge says he received the Johnson & Johnson vaccine in June. Manatee County's Department of Health has already wrapped up contact tracing with the commissioner. The search for survivors following a massive earthquake is underway across a large part of southern Haiti as the death toll climbs. Fox News correspondent Brian Yenis has the very latest from Port-au-Prince. Caused a large fire in Utah, and it was easily preventable. Why it could leave a driver responsible for millions of dollars in damages. That's next. And later, move over Grubhub and Uber Eats. We'll show you how high-tech food delivery services are rolling along at one Florida university. And Jim is here to tell us a little bit about our weather and how treating the panhandle.
Yeah, we've got a lot going on. We've got Tropical Storm Fred working its way onshore up in the panhandle, getting lots of rain and some gusty winds up in that direction. For us, we just continue to see a lot of cloudy skies. We've got some rain out in the Gulf of Mexico, a few showers developing. There's a view over downtown Tampa, 86 degrees, winds coming out of the southeast. Some dark skies along the coastline with that southeasterly wind. So we'll talk about Fred, we'll talk about Grace, and we also have TD number 8. Lots to talk about. Complete forecast is coming up.
It's a housebroken murder mystery.
Where did you find Jill's Casio Mini?
All new tonight.
Chachki, enough.
Brought to you locally by Rhino Lawyers.
Maybe you can't be a movie star, but your home can.
They were looking for locations and left a flyer.
See how tonight at 10.
Well, a dramatic rescue caught on camera over the weekend in Alabama. A man trapped about 25 feet in the air with the cherry picker he was using on fire below him. The fire started when he came into contact with an electric line and grew even after power was cut off. The Oxford Fire Department created a makeshift safety net out of a tent, look at that, and convinced the man to jump. So he did have a leg injury and some smoke inhalation, but obviously things could have been much worse. Wow. Investigators in Utah say they know what sparked a wildfire that burned 2,500 acres and forced thousands to evacuate. It was a catalytic converter from a car driving on the interstate. And as Fox's Ben Winslow explains, the car's owner could be held responsible. All right, so I feel for the folks in the Panhandle, but really this is just going to be a good soaking, right? Not storm surge or wind so much.
There is a storm surge warning, but we're talking about 1 to 3 foot storm surge, so that's obviously not a huge deal. What we're really talking about is just a lot of rain. We're going to see some flooding rain, some areas getting over 10 inches of rain as this works its way through the Panhandle up into Georgia and just continues to work its way on towards the north. You look at the radar view right now, and the center of circulation sitting probably about 40 miles off the coastline. So a lot of the rain already working its way onshore through the Panhandle from Perry over towards Tallahassee and then stretching over towards Panama City. And they will just continue with these bands of rain rotating in. There's the center right there as it continues to work its way on towards north. In many of these locations over the next couple of days, picking up between about 3 to 7 up to about 10, maybe even 12 inches of rain in some isolated areas. Winds starting to pick up. Apalachicola reporting the winds gusting close to tropical storm force at 37 miles an hour. Over towards Tyndall Air Force Base, winds gusting to 26. You can see some of those embedded stronger bands of rain. As those come through, that dumps the copious amounts of rain. That's also where you tend to see some of the strongest winds as well. There is that storm surge basically from Indian Pass all the way down towards Yankeetown, but we're talking a 1 to 3 foot storm surge. So yes, that will cause some issues in some locations, but compared to what we've seen in the past, that certainly is not the biggest issue. I think really the biggest issue would just be some flooding rains with this. That combined with some of the gusty winds, you saturate the ground and you start to knock some trees over. You get the power outages in some areas. It won't be widespread or huge power outages, but there certainly will be power outages with this as it continues to work its way on towards the north. 55 miles to the southwest of Apalachicola right now with winds at 60 miles an hour. Still has that wind shear, but despite that, the warm waters of the Gulf of Mexico really overcoming a lot. That's why this system just continues to strengthen. It could actually strengthen a little bit more just prior to landfall later on this afternoon. But there you see it, working its way through Georgia, heading up towards Tennessee by tomorrow evening. Taking a lot of rain with it. And here you see all the rain. Anywhere you see those red and orange shades, we're talking 3 to 7 inches of rain falling with this. We also have Tropical Depression Grace. This one's struggling with some strong wind shear, but that's bringing that rain across portions of the Dominican Republic, stretching over towards Haiti. I think the wind shear continues to be an issue over the next couple of days. Eventually, as it gets into the Western Gulf and especially, or I should say the Western Caribbean and then into the Gulf of Mexico, that's where the wind shear starts to decrease, and we're likely going to see some intensification as we head towards the end of the week. Then out into the Atlantic, here's Bermuda. This is Tropical Depression number 8. And again, this one's struggling with some wind shear. Going to be doing a loop out into the Atlantic. It eventually will strengthen. But the good news with this, it looks like it'll work its way out over open water as we head towards the weekend. So it's that time of the year. You start to get a lot of activity showing up in the tropics. Sky Tower radar. There you see some of these bands right along the coastline. This is probably about 15 to 20 miles off the coast. So if you're over in Clearwater, you'll look to the west. You see those dark skies. Could see a few showers working their way on shore. We are seeing some storms starting to develop in the inland sections, and those will be basically just racing up towards the north. Right now, with lots of clouds around, 86 degrees, Brandon 88. Futurecast showing more of these scattered showers developing as the day goes on. Some of this in the Gulf will be working its way on shore, and then by tomorrow morning, we continue to see some of these off and on showers working their way on shore. So there's some tropical downpours at times as we go through the next couple of days. So forecast for today, lots of clouds around, scattered storms moving inland. Daytime high 90 degrees then for tonight. A lot of clouds around, overnight low of 79. For tomorrow, partly cloudy skies starting to develop as well, but we still have some of these storms around and a daytime high at 91 degrees. Really not a good day out on the water. Winds are out of the south at 15 to 20 knot, seas 3 to 5 feet with choppy bay waters. One tide remains. That's a low tide at 423. Here's your 7-day forecast. Daytime highs into the 90s as we head towards the middle of the week. And we'll start to dry things back out a little bit, dropping these rain chances back down to about 40% as we head towards the middle of the week, Linda.
All right, Jim, thank you. We want to update you know, on a story that we reported just a few minutes ago, the Manatee County School Board just voted 3-2 for a mask mandate with an opt-out, similar to what they're doing in Hillsborough County. We'll have more details for you later in our newscasts and online. Meanwhile, pandemic shortages continue to plague shoppers. First, it was toilet paper, then semiconductor chips. We'll tell you what's in short supply now that could impact your holiday shopping.
In cities and towns all across the Bay Area, count on the power of Sky Tower radar.
Fox 13 Sky Tower weather is sponsored by Air 24/7. Quality professional work with great prices. Don't overpay. Call us today.
Well, look at this. This is the first look at Venus. The Solar Orbiter spacecraft captured this last week. It shows the glare on the right side of the planet from the sun, and the left side, the dark semicircle, shows the night side of Venus. The orbiter is making flybys of Venus, Earth, and several in Mercury's orbit, all to be able to pick up enough speed to fight against the sun's gravitational pull. Cool stuff. Well, we are still months away from the holidays, but you may want to consider doing some of your Christmas shopping early this year. Toy prices are seeing a steep jump due to shortages and shipping backlogs. As Fox's Jessica Formoso explains, that could mean an even bigger scramble during the holiday season. Much more to come in our next half hour. The NTSB begins an investigation into Tesla's troubled autopilot system and the high-tech way some Florida students are getting their meals. Plus this.
New York City's vaccine mandate going into effect today, and other cities across the country are weighing similar options. I'm Alex Hogan in New York. I'll have the latest coming up.
It's the return of the global singing phenomenon. Can you guess the celebrities behind the mask?
You're watching the Fox 13 News at noon.
Welcome back, everyone. Well, some of the country's largest cities are enacting vaccine mandates for indoor activities, things like dining, drinking at bars, working out at the gym. But as Fox's Alex Hogan reports, some business owners think these decisions could be putting their recovery in jeopardy. With the Delta variant quickly spreading, health officials are considering ways to protect those who are most vulnerable. The National Institutes of Health is considering allowing elderly Americans to get booster shots as soon as this fall. Nursing home residents and healthcare workers are also among those being considered for boosters. A decision hasn't been made yet, though, because cases indicate that those who are fully vaccinated are still highly protected from the virus. The National Highway Traffic Safety Administration is opening an investigation into Tesla crashes while the vehicles are on autopilot. Specifically, the agency is looking at nearly a dozen collisions since 2018 with parked emergency vehicles. There have been a number of cases across the country where Tesla vehicles on autopilot didn't sense a stopped vehicle until it was too late to avoid a crash. The electric car maker continues to say it's much safer for drivers to use autopilot compared to driving without the advanced cruise control technology. Ram is recalling more than 260,000 of their pickup trucks because their airbags could be dangerous. Stellantis, which offers Fiat Chrysler, says some airbag inflators in the side curtain airbags could have moisture contamination. That could cause the bags to rupture without warning. Those affected models include the Ram 3500 pickup trucks and cab chassis vehicles made between 2015 and 2020. The company says they will fix the problem at no cost. Well, watch out, Uber Eats. There's a new delivery service, and it's the first of its kind in Florida. When students at Embry-Riddle Aeronautical University order food on campus, it'll be delivered directly to them, courtesy a robot. Fox's Vicky Carr shows us how it works. Well, this might make you grab your cheeks and scream for joy or horror. Word of the Home Alone reboot is coming up. You know, that's what he did. But before that arrives, there's plenty of entertainment you can enjoy at home. Some of the best movies and music out this week. It's all up next.
It's a housebroken murder mystery.
Where did you find Jill's Casio Mini?
All new tonight.
Tchotchke, enough.
Brought to you locally by Rhino Lawyers.
This week on The Real, deluxe products at drugstore prices. And we've got amazing guests on The Real.
The one to watch for today's talk, today at 1.
Looking for a job? Well, Papa John's Pizza is hosting a big hiring event all across the country this week, conducting in-person interviews at pretty much all their locations, including here in the Bay Area. Restaurants in Hernando and Citrus counties kick off the event today. The rest of the Bay Area takes part on Wednesday. More than 250 local positions are available. The interviews start at 1 p.m., but you can also apply online. Good news for Disney World fans. More magic is coming to Disney World this holiday season, and you can soon book tickets for the festivities. The park is hosting a new event at the Magic Kingdom this year called Disney Very Merriest After Hours. The event's debut comes as Disney World is about to celebrate its 50th anniversary. The company says it's more COVID-19 friendly compared to Mickey's Very Merry Christmas Party, which was canceled last year. But it's not too different. Guests can still expect snow falling on Main Street, a holiday-themed parade, and fireworks. Tickets go on sale this Friday.
You guys give up, or you're thirsty for more?
And no Kevin or Wet Bandits this time around, but there is a new Home Alone coming. The reboot is called Home Sweet Home Alone, and it stars Archie Yates from Jojo Rabbit and Ellie Klumper from Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt. This time the lead character is Max Mercer, who is left home alone when his family goes to Japan for the holidays, and he has to protect his house from a couple who's trying to steal an heirloom from it. The project will air exclusively on Disney Plus starting November 12th. DVD, digital, and music releases this week include an action comedy sequel, a family adventure, a Grammy Award-winning singer, and more. Fox's Ashley Dvorkin is here with the list of new releases. Well, you've probably seen ads for meal delivery services with everything you need all packaged together in one box. When we return, we'll take you to a local company giving you an option that's closer to home.
Hi, everybody. Happy Monday. I'm Charlie Belcher coming to you from Tampa.
Thanks, Charlie. Well, here's the live look outside right now. Oh, I see those dark clouds. Meteorologist Jim Weber will have another check on your forecast when we come back.
I tossed a rock up over the roof. A rock hit my head.
Were you arrested that evening?
Yes, I was, Your Honor.
Judge Judy. Today at 3, followed by the 4 o'clock news.
And now, Fox 13 meteorologist Jim Weber with your Sky Tower radar forecast.
Well, just continue to watch those heavy rain bands from Fred working their way onshore up into the Panhandle, up towards Tallahassee, where you see these bands, where you see the yellows, the reds, the oranges. That's where you have the strongest portions of these working their way onshore. That's where you're going to find some of the winds gusting up to tropical storm force. The actual center still out over the Gulf of Mexico, and it's sitting probably about 45 miles off the coast right now. So still a little bit of time that this could actually strengthen a little bit more. But now that it's starting to work its way onshore, time is obviously closing very quickly for that any kind of intensification. Now, technically, there is a storm surge warning that goes from Indian Pass around down towards Yankeetown, but with this working its way onshore, and even though you will have some issues with some flooding, the storm surge is not really the big story with this. It's the heavy rain that will be coming down with this system. Some areas getting up to 7 inches of rain, where some pockets of up to 10 to 12 inches of rain as it continues to work its way on towards the north. Right now, winds are at 60 miles an hour. It's located 55 miles to the southwest of Apalachicola, moving towards the north at 10 miles an hour. So makes landfall officially later on this afternoon, then starts to quickly weaken. But as it does so, working its way across Georgia, up into Tennessee, bringing a lot of rain as it does so. And that's where we're going to see that flooding threat, especially across Florida, parts of Georgia. We've had a lot of rain here over the past several weeks and months. You're going to have some of these issues with some trees down and obviously power outages from some of this as well. There's the rainfall expected as we go through the next 3 days. You can see across the Panhandle up into southeastern Alabama, heading up into Georgia as well. And then as far north as up towards North Carolina, heading up into Virginia as well. Also watching a lot more in the tropics. This is Tropical Depression Grace, starting to spread some rains across portions of Haiti. It's struggling right now because of some strong wind shear, and it looks like that will continue to be the case over the next couple of days. But eventually, as the wind shear starts to decrease, it's moving over warm water. We do expect this to strengthen, but with the big high to the north, it's going to keep this away from us nowhere near us, not going to affect our weather whatsoever. And then we're also watching Tropical Depression number 8. Here's Bermuda. Again, wind shear. That's the big key with this one. Still looking at wind shear affecting a lot of these systems. It pulls a little loop out here in the Atlantic. It eventually starts to strengthen. The good news about this one is it looks like it'll basically head out over open water and not affect anybody. Sky Tower radar here locally. You can see some of these bands from Fred lingering just off the coastline. This is just about 10 miles off the coastline. So if you're over in the Pinellas County, you can look to the west and you can see some of those dark skies. And some of that will be brushing up along the coastline, I think, as we go through the afternoon. Other showers starting to develop as well. Watch Futurecast as we go through the afternoon. Scattered showers working their way on shore, and then things will quiet down a bit. But I think, again, for tomorrow, we're going to have that south and southwesterly wind, so we'll likely see some coastal showers working their way on shore as the day goes on. And then a lot of that will end up into the interior as we get into tomorrow afternoon. So lots of clouds, scattered storms moving inland. Daytime high upper 80s to right around 90 degrees for today. Then mostly cloudy skies for tonight, low temperature of 79. For tomorrow, partly cloudy. Scattered storms developing, though. Daytime high at 91 degrees. Here's your 7-day forecast. Daytime highs, they're heading back up into the low 90s, and those rain chances with more sun, they'll be heading back down a little bit, down to about 40% as we head towards the middle of the week, Linda.
All right, Jim, thanks. Well, she is making a birthday wish, but not for herself. A young girl's gift for others on her big day is next. A girl in Illinois is getting her birthday wish granted, but it's not for herself. She's making special boxes to deliver to food pantries in her community. Fox's Natalie Baumke shows us how the girl is making a difference, one care package at a time. Me too. Well, the news keeps going online at fox13news.com and at our Fox 13 News app right on your phone. Look for more news, weather, and sports beginning at 4. I hope to see you right back with us then. Until then, have a great afternoon, everyone, and stay safe.